first time I met Thomas Becket was on a beautiful day. It was a bright and sunny morning in the Kingdom of England, and I was being introduced to him as his new maidservant. I had heard so much about him and was very eager to meet him. And, well, we became friends very quickly, and we would go walking in the gardens together and talk about life. And every time he looked me in the eye, I could feel my insides melt. And occasionally, Henry, the king, would invite him over for a game of chess. And they would sit there playing for hours and talk about economics and politics and other stuff that I didn't really understand. But one thing that I did catch was the king had a strong lust for power, and he was very controlling. They would say things like, "Do you think that I, the king, should have supreme power over the state and the church?" And Thomas would say, "Yes, I do, and I think the clergymen should have less privileges." They would say things like that and go on for hours until finally Henry would win, but I knew that Thomas would let him win, and then we would go home. A few months later, Thomas was named Archbishop, and that was a very important day for him. I could see the pride in his eyes. And he started having a change of heart. He was never evil. He just started loving everyone. And he would have peasants over for breakfast, and he would give his wealth to the poor, and he would wear this nasty clothing with bugs all crawling inside of it, and it was so disgusting. And then he would have people whip him till he could not take another whipping. I would wait for his beatings to be over, and then I would carry him inside and rub oil on his back to ease the pain. Months had passed, and Henry and Thomas grew farther apart. They started arguing about legal issues and stuff like that, and many personal matters also, but Thomas would still tell me. Until one day, Henry got so mad that he threw his ink bottle at the messenger's face and blinded both eyes. I don't know whether or not he died, but Thomas and Henry were surely in a feud that time. And one day, when I was cleaning the dishes, I heard that Henry had sent 4 of his knights to come and kill Thomas. I was so shocked. I ran up the stairs and down the halls to the room where Thomas was, and I warned him that knights were coming to kill him. And I was telling him that he had to leave, but he would not move. So I knelt down in front of him and started telling him that he had to leave because people were coming to kill him. But he would not move. He said that death could not destroy love, and if God wanted him to live, then he would save him. But I was crying, and I was begging him to come, but he would not go. So I clenched on his legs, and there the 4 knights walked in with swords and spears, and they dragged me to the side, and they held me down, and they started piercing Thomas. They stabbed him until he died. And when I thought it was all over, one of the knights put their foot upon Thomas's head and crushed it. There I fell on the floor. I fell and I crawled to him, and I cried, and I screamed till the day was done. My heart was full of grief, full of pain, and full of hate. King Henry had the nerve to ask for forgiveness. He crawled to Canterbury Cathedral barefooted and had people whip him. He thought that could cure the past. He thought that what he did before did no longer matter because of what he did now. But nothing he can do can change the past. Nothing he can do can bring back Thomas. We were going to get married. We were in love. We were going to have children. I'm sure of it. I'm sure he loved me. But now I'm going to grow old alone, and the only thing I have to hold on to is this memory.